Merge glitching is one of the best tricks you can learn if you like camp building in Fallout 76. With this handy dandy little technique, you can create cool custom furniture for your camps, just like this on your screen now. It really is an effective way to decorate your camp, and the best thing about it, it's dead simple to do. Let's have a ganders. Okay then, so there is a number of different merge glitches you can use. The type of situation and the overall effect you're going for will dictate which method you go with. In the case of making your own furniture, you're going to be using the pressure plate method. Now then, this is really easy to do. What you want to start off with is, funnily enough, a pressure plate. And what you're going to do is place it down on the ground and make sure that it's depressed. And I mean that physically, not emotionally. I mean, you can hurl insults at it if you want, but it's not going to help the situation. The best way of doing it, in my opinion, guys, is once you've placed down the pressure plate, pick it up and replace it down again. That'll make sure it's nice and sad and you can begin merging. Right then, so now we've got our pressure plate depressed, we're going to start merging two items together. Now it's very important to know that the item on top will sink into the item below. So for example, I'll merge this Tinker's Workbench into this stash box. It's nothing special, but we'll roll with it. All I'm going to do is place the workbench on top of the stash box. I'm going to pick up the stash box and put it on top of our pressure plate, making sure it's still depressed. From here, guys, all you got to do is pick up and drop the stash box over and over and over again, and you will see that the Tinker's Workbench starts to sink into it. You just got to keep repeating the process until your thumb gets numb or you're happy with, the positioning of it. It's pretty cool, that, isn't it? And that's took, what, 2 minutes? And this isn't an advanced merge by any stretch of imagination, but hopefully it gives you some idea of what you can achieve with this. You can even do more than 2 items as well if you wanted. Another cool thing we can do with this merge glitch is make things sink into the terrain, and you're probably thinking, TNG, what you talking about? Well, say you wanted to place down Grognak the Barbarian, but you didn't want that little plinth that he's got in his base. You wanted to make him look like he's, standing on the grass. Well, by using our little merge glitch, we can achieve this. All we've got to do, instead of placing Grognak down on a stash box or something, find something small. I don't know, a conduit, a bloody succulent, even this really terrifying doll here. Honestly, it don't matter, the choice is yours, but bear in mind, whatever you do choose to use, it will be visible in your camp, and if you delete it, it'll delete your statue, or whatever it is you're trying to sink into terrain. Anyhow, for this example, I'm going to use the doll. So I'm going to place down Grognak on top of the doll. I'm going to take him over to our still depressed pressure plate. And I'm quite simply going to repeat the process as we did for merging 2 pieces of furniture together. Now, as you can see, mon petit fleurs, Grognak is going down and the doll is rising up. What this means, ladies and gents, is when we get the doll to a certain height, we can pick her up, place her down on terrain, and hey presto, Grognak's big, dirty, ugly plinth has disappeared. It's nice that, isn't it? Again, guys, this trick can be used for multiple different things. I like to use it to hide shelter entrances, get them sunk down into the ground a little bit more. Now, our second merge glitch is going to be sinking things into foundations. This one is extremely simple, and it can be used for a couple of different things. You could use it to decorate, like we did with the first one, or you could sink things like shelter entrances into a foundation. Make them look a little bit tidier. I mean, Christ, if you're feeling extra spicy, you can even sink symptomatics into it and shit like that to get underneath the map. It's your call. Much like our first merge glitch, whatever you place on top at foundation is going to merge into said foundation. So once you've chose your item or items you want to go into it, then you're ready to go. All you got to do is place down another foundation, like this, and snap your initial foundation with the item on top of it to the fresh one you've just put down. That sounded more complicated than it should have been. The next thing we got to do is grab the foundation with our items on it and quite simply drag it downwards. What's going to happen is, even though the foundation you're dragging down will go green, as soon as you release your place button, it won't actually stay in that position. It'll snap to the foundation that it was, initially connected to. What this will achieve in turn is the item you've got on top of it will start to merge into it. Now, this can be a little bit tricky getting it right. I like to grab the foundation at the bottom and just do small increments. I know it sounds pretty bloody self-explanatory, but the more you drag it down, the deeper the item's going to merge in. Trust me when I say it is really easy to overshoot it, so little bits is better than big uncontrolled drops. It's easier to add more than take away. There is also another way of doing this. If you hate yourself, you can actually merge things by using the terrain instead of another foundation. This method is more erratic than a madman's shit. It's very tricky to get perfect. It'll only work in very specific terrain, and it's just pointless. You might as well just use 2 foundations. Finally, I'm going to share with you something that's not technically a merge glitch, but it will help you out, especially if you like to float items around your camp for some unknown reason. All you're going to need for this one, my friends, is an item that you want to float, something you want to float it off. I mean, that could literally be anything, and your camp module. That's it. So for a very rudimentary example here, I'm going to make this stash box float above this stash box here. All I do is I stack one on top of the other, bring them over to my camp module, place them both down on top of it, and simply pick them up and drop them. And as you can see, guys, one stash box is floating, the other one's on the floor. Now, yes, this isn't strictly a merge glitch, right? But it's so simple to do, and it's so quick to show. I might as well throw it in here. It's kind of along the same lines, isn't it? Ah, of course it is. And again, you can create some really cool custom furniture with it as well. Cooker rods, for example, just off the top of my head. Anyhow, that is it from me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Big thanks to Silver Bunny and Dayla for some of the beautiful merges they put together. And as we say it north, I love you and leave you, and I'll catch you at next one. Have fun, everybody.